Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And yes, we're joined by Mr. B, OMONDI, and a special guest will be with us, none other than on time, Jay Motti. Welcome to the channel. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And Mr. B, how you doing? It's been a long time. You know what? That song popped in my head, but I'm not going to sing it, I promise.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, it's Friday, so it's your Friday feeling.
I see. No, I'm doing a double show, so I'm going to be a mess afterwards. But it's all good, man. It's all good.
Oh, and on Monday again, it's been a long time since. Yeah, let's go, Mr. B, and having it.
I prefer Eric being Raheem. It's been a long time. I should have let you. I don't rhyme to step to. Anyway, welcome back. It's been a long time. Errol, I haven't seen you for ages. It's great having you back on the show. I remember a comment the other day on the show. Someone saying, "Where's Errol's smiley face? We miss Errol's smiley face and good energy." And we do at the Man United Agenda. Welcome back, bro.
Thank you, guys. And listen, you guys have been doing an absolutely fantastic job keeping the faith going. These lovely people in the chat as well. You know, I do sort of tune in. I may not say much, but got my eyes on everyone in the chat. So, yeah, no, it's much appreciated, though, guys. And also, it is a long time since I've been on and I've been studying. That's the only reason I've been studying. And another man who is late. I don't know if whoa. I better not say that too. I better not say that. I better hold back. I did the little thing of whoa.
Whoa. What were you about to say? What was you going to hold back then? Come on, don't be shy.
I was going to say,
friends. I won't tell anyone.
I was going to say, you know, Jay's on time.
He is actually. He's early.
I apologize because I did put a tweet out on a community post saying 8:30, but I had to clear the kitchen out. The kids were eating the tea, so I had to get them out of the kitchen because it's chaos in our house. So I wanted them out of the kitchen so I could come here. So apologies for that. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have even given them tea, but my missus put it down. She was like,
"You'd be giving it all to Mr. B."
Exactly. How are you, son? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, Dad. You're right.
Hey, that's a good mic you got there.
Is it not on?
It is on. It is on, but it's a bit squeaky.
Is that a vintage one? That is that from?
Oh, fucking hell!
It sounds like you're broadcasting during the war.
Oh, no.
Let me cut it and cut back out because I'm not going to.
Reminds me when we used to have a CB radio. Eyeball. How many candles you burning?
I'm leaving this shit. I'm coming back.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
hopefully you won't sound like you're underwater. What we've been talking about? Sorry, because I'm late to the party. OMONDI, forgive me. How are you, brother? Are you good?
I'm great, thank you, Jay. How are you? We were just talking about Errol. We've missed him. His glowing face, his happy vibes. It's been a while since he's been on Man United Agenda. So, you've appeared as well, Jay. So we're feeling good. It's a good Friday night.
Have you been sulking, Errol, because your boy Fred's not been playing?
Oh, I'm upset.
So he's like, upset. Do you know what? No Fred, no Errol. It's that simple.
There you go. But you know what the problem is, Jay? And I think I got a bone to pick with a few people on the agenda. Anytime I put anything about Fred, it doesn't get read out. But listen, I'm always close to him.
Nice.
I'm always
He's
close
always
to him.
there.
Always close to him. So
what's up with Fred at the minute? Is he injured or is he just not getting picked? What's going on?
Just not getting picked. Shibitsu
Really?
he's having no thingy a world at the moment, isn't he? So you
Fair
can't
enough.
drop him, to be honest with
It's
you.
a shame Fred doesn't play in defence. He'd definitely get a start one at the minute. And the injuries we've got.
Yeah, he would. Again, for me, it's the whole. Let's kickstart, Jay. Let's talk about yesterday because I'm sitting there, come up with titles about the show and everything, what we're going to do for the reaction show, and then the next thing I know, it was 2-1. then the next thing I know, that unfortunate goal that came off Maguire head. Maguire to me didn't have a bad game, but it's very unfortunate for that to happen at that particular time to him.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the goal at the time. I was down the other end where I stand, so I didn't see it properly. Forgive me, I've not watched it back because I just couldn't bother to watch it back. I've obviously done videos today and stuff on Paddock, but I know what happened. It went off him. It's an own goal. I don't need to put myself through that again. I think it's a bit sort of slightly unfair on Maguire though that the narrative seems to be centering around him and his performance. When for me, and I like the kid, but Malacia for the first goal was awful. Like Maguire is you can argue the ball's quite close to him. I think when it's headed, he doesn't cover himself in glory, but it's a little bit unfortunate. Malacia, he's got ample opportunity to deal with that. He's got time to think, to deal with it, to know what he's doing, and he just didn't. I couldn't believe it when I was watching it. I was like, "What?" We were all saying, "What's he doing?" So yeah, that was probably the most egregious out of the two. I feel like with Maguire now, this, I remember you guys have been doing this for a little while. I've been coming on here for a little while. I remember me and OMONDI talking ahead of I think it was the Europa League final, about Maguire being missing, and that would be a loss. It wasn't. People may laugh and go, "Yeah, what you want?" When we went into that Europa League final a couple of seasons ago, Maguire got injured. He'd been playing well up to then. Don't forget, we were second in the league, and we were talking about how we were going to miss Maguire in the final. Now we get to the point where people are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe Maguire's going to play. It's a disaster."
Amazing.
Yeah, and I think we just got to, get behind him. I'm not saying he's immune from criticism, but he's got a big 2 months now where he can prove himself. Sort of. What's that noise? Can you hear that? What is that? Am I imagining that?
What noise?
What?
Yeah, there's noise in the background.
Like
Yeah.
What am I hearing?
Yeah, can you not hear it? Like a dog barking and a rustling of keys? Or am I having some
you're definitely hearing that because I'm hearing it as well.
I can hear
right.
a dog barking.
Yeah, the dogs did bark. There's a rustling like someone's got crisps in their pocket.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Is someone eating Walkers?
Oh, man.
Is
Can't afford Walkers.
Is someone with you, Mr. B? Was there someone
Yeah,
there?
but there's not eating crisps.
You know when you're at school and one of your friends is digging in their pocket to eat crisps or sweets and they don't want to share them with you.
Mr. B's gone. Mr. B's gone from having a microphone that was made in 1937 to having one that's so high tech and at top of the range, it's picking up his neighbours. It's that good. He's gone from one extreme to the other.
It's not me. It's
Right,
not
okay.
me.
Sorry, we can't keep blaming Mr. B. Yeah, so listen, he's no one's immune from criticism, especially not £80 million club captains, but I'll get behind Maguire. I think now's the time. Get behind the kid. Hopefully, he can have a good 2 months, show us what he's about, help United win another trophy, help us get to the Champions League next season. It's wrong to say all will be forgiven because you don't think he needs forgiving, but I think that could, if he does leave in the summer, that can mean he ends on a positive note where we go, look, probably overspent on him, but he came in, finished third, finished second, won some trophies and left. Fair play to him. That'd be a lovely way for him to move on, I think.
Again, with it, obviously, I know on Monday is going to sort of defend Maguire because, again, for me, I do say certain things about Maguire, but I do it in a jest. I don't actually sort of say in a malice way, but the way social media and every the fan base of Man United, we're our worst enemies because it's almost like the manager will pick the team. So obviously the manager know who he wants in the starting lineup. First of all, as well, the second thing is he will know exactly who he's bringing on as a substitute first, providing there's no injuries at all. So is it a case that the fans on social media just need to get behind the team? Because right now, we didn't expect to be where we are right now.
Yeah, it's a fall from grace. I mean, like Jay was saying, it wasn't so long ago when Lindelof was playing in the Europa League final against Villarreal, ball comes over, Maguire usually clears his headers and they score from a free kick, which like, oh my God. And Maguire was a big miss because that season we done really well, the two of them. And now ironically, we're moaning and groaning about him being the next man in line to come in when Martinez got injured. Just want to say, Martinez is a great little player. Every time I see him, I can't fail to be impressed. Sometimes I look at him and think, man, that guy's so small, but he's just like pound for pound, an absolute diamond of a player. Press resistant, holds up the ball really well. I love the way when he gets pressured, he just drops shoulder, turns away from someone. You know, uses their momentum. You're going that way, I'm turning away, and we're going to start to play again. Beautiful player. But Maguire's had to sit there. And I saw an interview by Maguire recently saying he's showing it's all about character. And I said this, physicality, yeah, he's got that. But what he's showing to me now is the thick skin and spiritually feeling good and emotionally. And I think in a season, look at the 99 season, we were out Keane and Scholes. We look at the lineup for the final in the Champions League. It's like, oh my God. And we were dominated. We didn't do too well in that game, but we ended up winning with a side that was the mix and match, you know. Giggs on the right, Blankish on the left, you know, Beckham in the centre of the park. But, you know, and now we're going to have to do the same. And we have to. And we have to step up. And we've got a good manager. I know it seems like doom and gloom, but we have to get behind the players, whoever's there. Because Harry Maguire came on the other day, played well against Everton, came on the other day against Seville at half-time, ready to go, let's do this, and played really well up until that mistake. And like Jay was saying, I'm surprised. I don't go on Twitter because I can't stand some of the negativity out there. But it's like, if you're going to have a discussion about football, please be honest. Malacia played a bit shaky, not his usual self. There was a couple of games this season where he's been a bit shaky. But he was shaky yesterday for whatever reason. And then the mistake, he wasn't thinking, he switched off completely, and they scored. And that was like, oh, no. But the Maguire one was unfortunate. Now, Maguire's played really well. If you're talking about bringing the ball out from the back, he does that really well. He passes the ball well. He wins his headers. The only issue I might have with him is his interception and reading of the game. And sometimes he gets caught out and you see him chasing back. That's the only issue I have. But then I can pick out, we can criticize all players. But I just don't understand why he gets it as bad as he does. You know, I just don't get it. He's a good player. He's a good Premiership proven player. And I'm proud. And I'm really, you know, I think this is destiny. I'm proud to see that he's got an opportunity now to see us through to top four and maybe get to a cup final as well. And I hope he does it for the team, has a rock at the back, and does something really well to people say, wow, we're sorry. Because he deserves an apology the way he's been treated.
Let's hope that doesn't come back to bite you on your arse, OMONDI. Yeah, that's all, bruv. You know, the thing is with me, we know what his inadequacies are, and managers out there also know what they are. I'm more worried about him getting targeted, but we're talking about Maguire coming in. We've got to talk about maybe Shaw playing. Is he gonna go? Is he gonna play two right-footed players? He doesn't tend to do it very, very often. So if Shaw's fit, I think it's more likely to be Shaw and Maguire than Lindelof and Maguire. That's the part that I would be more happy with Shaw playing. And yes, he's less experienced than Lindelof, but it keeps the team balance right in regards to him being able to play out left-sided. The fact that Shaw's done it, Man City game, he did it in the Barcelona game as well. I mean, you're not going to get much higher games-wise. So I'm more thinking about it being Shaw and Maguire, which means that Malacia has to shake off the disappointment of playing shit when he played yesterday. And I'm fixed up for the next 12 or 13 games for the season.
Jay, anything on that one?
No, I mean, several things. You're right. Shaw at left centre back was his go-to preference over Maguire, which everyone used as a sort of example of how far Maguire had fallen. There's also the added sort of twist that Maguire suspended for the FA Cup semi-final, so it's probably going to be Shaw and Lindelof for that one, just because needs must. If Varane and Martinez are both out, I don't see how he accommodates that other than to do that. Listen, it's a bit of a disaster. It is. But the one thing I will say is we've seen Maguire play well in the United shirt. He's had some shaky games. Let's not pretend he hasn't, but he's played well. But he's not played that often with Casemiro in front of him. And I think that helps you. Casemiro is such a good DM. He really is. And most of Maguire's best games came with McFred in front of him. So I think having that little bit of protection, it's not just the protection that Casemiro offers you. Casemiro will drop deep almost to another centre-back and say, give me the ball. give me the ball, I'll do something with it. And my one criticism of McTominay is sometimes he doesn't do that. He goes missing. He doesn't show enough. Fred will do that and then give it away. Not all the time, but sometimes he will. I know I'm speaking to the Fred Appreciation Society, and I love the kid's energy in that. But he can be a little bit erratic when he comes deep to get the ball. So having Casemiro there, just going, give me the ball, let me, do something with it, can help. Plus that little bit of protection, because you've got him in front of you who can intercept things, who can cut out, the old Michael Carrick thing of putting out fires before they get started. That's going to be a massive boost for Maguire. So, yeah, there's reasons to feel that this could work. It's just you cannot ignore missing Varane and Martinez because they're so important to us. They're so important to the way we play. And they're both having such good seasons. Despite the fact we've had a few spankings, I think we've got the most clean sheets in Europe. Which, when's the parade? When we've just been beat 7-0 and 6-3 and 4-0 off Brentford, you know what I mean? It's like, really? Are we bragging about that? But there's something in it. If you keep getting clean sheets, that more often than not, it works. So it is going to be a bit of a tough one. But listen, if you're club captain, you're 80 million quid, you should be able to play for Manchester United when you needed to. Otherwise, what are we even doing? So, yeah, it's disappointing. But like I said earlier, we just got to get behind him and hopefully Maguire can show us what he's made of, because this isn't a poor defender. It's not. This is a guy who can be a very, very good defender. He's just lost his way a lot.
With that, though, let me throw something into the woodworks here. Scott McTominay, centre back.
Throw something into the woodworks. There's a new saying that I've literally never heard before in my 43 years on planet Earth. Listen, just bear with me, guys. I'm just going to throw something into the woodworks.
Throw the okay. If you're on the first line, as well.
And I love the fact, right? Can we just say as well, that OMONDI and Mr. B, when you said that, what can only be described as utter nonsense, they did not even bat an eyelid. They didn't even go, what's this guy about? Because they just literally went, this is both of them.
It's gone over their head.
We got all commentators in here.
What? Yeah. I'm like, whoa. Roll back. Let's just stop here. I'm just going to throw this into the woodwork and see if anyone salutes it. Sorry, go on.
It in. No,
you throw it into that woodwork and see if it, it's the back of the
We're throwing Scott at the back. We're throwing Scott at the back.
No.
McTominay?
No.
Yes, centre back.
Errol, man. I don't mind coming on this channel. I don't mind chatting with you guys. I enjoy it. But if you're gonna start drinking vodka before I get on, bro, I'm not being funny. Do you know what I mean? Come on, man. It's like the last thing this team needs right now. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I respect you. You're a good guy. The last thing this needs is a Scott McTominay experiment with him in defence. Like, now's not the time for this. And before you say it, I know what you're going to say, right? You'll say, see, you've nearly killed Mr. B there. He's having a heart attack at that one. You've ended him. He was all right with you throwing something into the woodwork until you said Scott McTominay at centre back. And now the poor kid's he's on the phone to 999. I don't think now is the time to be experimenting with Scott McTominay at centre back. Honestly, I don't. I think I was going to say you might look and go, he plays centre back for Scotland as part of a free.
Yeah, but
there's levels to this game, as the kids say, and I just can't see like us going. Imagine going at Spurs and putting a defensive McTominay at centre back alongside who, for starters? Are you playing alongside him?
See?
Yeah,
anyone?
Yeah.
Solo, this is your.
Listen, I'll put Fred there.
Please don't tell me he's on his own.
He's on his own. He's
one-man defensive unit. And Scott McTominay, yeah, and Fred's in goal.
The combination, McFred.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You have been drinking. You have been drinking.
Right. I tell you what, right?
It's just something I thought of, like with Jose Mourinho when he did it. But obviously, that lost his job there, didn't he? He lost his job.
Jose Mourinho did it, got sacked.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. But he played for Scotland. That's what I was thinking, because he played for Scotland at centre back. Could he do the job if
as
needed?
Part of a three? To be fair,
if needed.
And
no,
I think I know, and also I don't even think he plays there anymore. I think his more recent performance has been in midfield. I don't think he's getting a brace against Spain in defence, is he? I might be wrong because I didn't watch the game. I just saw the goals. But I don't think now you go, let's try putting Scott McTominay in defence for the first time since Jose. I just think that's a step too far. Casemiro in defence, maybe, if needs must, because he has played there. Although I think you lose too much out of midfield. But putting Scott McTominay in defence, it's not for me, that one, bro. I ain't going to lie to you.
Yeah, fair enough. But guys, listen, 26 in the chat at the moment. Just give us a like if you know the routine. Just give us a like. If you're not new, just give us a subscribe as well. Amanda, would you mind going through some of these comments, please? We'll just go for a few. There's
quite a few. Do you want to say hi to Jim Mack? He's saying I'd rather have Jones than Maguire to the end of the season. That's Phil Jones. Remember him? 1,000 to 1. Phil Jones makes a comeback to Michael Hill. Plays great to the end of the season and signs a new 3-year deal. Okay. We'll say hi to Stuart Marshall. He's saying all hell Harry Maguire. We need him now. Ed Mayhem. Hopefully you're coming down to play the COP TV channel soon, all the way from Brown. He's saying honestly embarrassed about the state of humanity. The amount of people I've seen on social media laughing about Martinez being injured. Rebels saying here, squad was too thin before the injuries. Will take a minor miracle to keep top 4. So he's a bit concerned there. I want to say hi to HD Gamer. McTominay will probably be used as a backup to the backup for centre back, if you understand what I mean. Iqbal, Manu, their chance, they can get their chances now as well. Want to say hi to Tyrone Williams, saying good evening. Uncle Dubious is saying, Jay, how did you land a gig with them champions?
It's basically I got arrested a few years ago in community service. The judge gave me 240 hours community service on the United agenda. Until you've learned your lesson, young lad, you're going on that show with Solo, and you're gonna have to listen to him saying, "I'm gonna throw this in the woodwork." Scott McTominay at centre back. And you think about that.
Fox is saying Phil Jones deserves the last hurrah in front of the bright light.
You all gone mad. Phil Jones. We've turned into Make-A-Wish Foundation. Let's just give Phil Jones a game.
Big up to Football Power Hour. Go and subscribe to his channel. How you doing? Well, he's saying good evening to all the man. Then your Uncle Dubious again is saying Fred played left back once. He was good. Malacia missed a chance to make it 3-0, says Box. He's also saying Malacia area was literally schoolboy, most certainly. Yoda, as in Yoda, runs Yoda, says, yes, lads, you've got a Yoda symbol there. Tyrone here is saying, we need Maguire to show everyone why he's captain. Maguire is suspended for the Brighton semi-finals, James was saying earlier. Stuart Marshall saying, keep saying it. We have overachieved this season. Ten Hag is working miracles. Yeah. And Box is saying here about the save De Gea should have made at the peak of his powers. He would have saved that deflected goal. I don't know about that.
What's he talking about? Is he serious?
Bill Banjo saying,
get your milk, Mr. B.
Sure, should be fit, and Lindelof and Maguire to partner him is what might happen. And Bath Times here as well saying, oh my God, lads, happy Easter. MUST Realist TV, check out his channel. Good evening, Solo Monday, Jay. Mickey is back in Sweden, smashing the likes. Delano Francis as well. Maguire will have to pay players. He is captain, no excuses here. And McTominay kept a clean sheet at centre back against England. This is in Euros, I believe it was. So there you go. With the comments, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Next, we're going to be talking about Martial and what an impact he was the other night, Jay. Literally flawless performance. Absolutely. This is what my issue with him is. A fit Martial is class. If he can keep sort of at least a run of consistency of probably say 20 games in the season, how good could he be?
There's never, to be honest with you, the issue for me has never really been about his ability. I don't think ever since he arrived I've questioned whether he's good. He is. We've seen him since he arrived in England, you know, put Van Dijk on his backside a couple of times. We've seen him banging in goals in big games. We've seen him skipping past defenders. We've seen him have a season where he scored 23 goals. We've seen him score hat-tricks. We've seen him score against City. We've seen him do everything you'd want from an attacker. The issue is just his fitness. I mean, he had obviously a difficult season. It last season. He went on loan to Sevilla, ironically, and didn't really do anything. I spoke to a Spanish football expert, Semra Hunter, who does La Liga TV, and she just, you know, she was pretty honest about it. He said he was a bit of a disaster, his move there. I think he scored 1 goal in the Europa. They were in with a bit of a shout for a title challenge when he arrived, and that just fell away. I think Julian Lopetegui criticised him, said his effort wasn't good enough. And if you remember, they pulled out all the stops on social media as well. Like, they treated him like he was the second coming of Pele when he got there. All their social media just was about Andy Martial, how great he is, we got him and all this. And it just didn't happen for him. So, you know, ability-wise, he has got it, but he can have these spells where it's not quite happening for him. And this season, the funny thing is, when he's played, he's actually done well. If you look at I think his goals per minute, per 90, he's actually one of the best at the club. It's up there with Rashford's. If not, I think it's even better than Rashford's because he's not played any games. But when he has played, he's got goals. But it's just, can he stay fit? I think it was quite telling that we heard he was in training quite a while ago. He was in training a few weeks ago. And he wasn't sort of rushed back. He wasn't, even when we could have done with him, it was like he's still training on his own. Then he was training with the team. And people going, well, why is, remember the press conference, what's happening with Martial? And a few people were getting a bit antsy, like, why has he not been put back in? And then now he has obviously come in, again, been managed, comes on in a game. Then he played 60, obviously a pre-planned substitution last night. Give him 60 minutes because he's not ready for a full night yet. I'm hoping, obviously, he starts against Nottingham Forest. So he's been managed in the right way. If we can keep him fit, we know what he can do. It's just the fitness thing, it's the big if. He doesn't want to get injured. He's not like he's going out into the pitch going, oh, you know what, I don't fancy it or whatever. He's up for it. We just need to keep him fit, or just hope that he stays fit. And sometimes you get unlucky. I mean, last night to lose 2 centre-backs was unlucky. But if we can get a bit of luck and we can get Martial, keep him fit, and then get Rashford back into this team, because we've not even seen them two together other than 10 minutes in the last 6 months, that could be a massive boost for Manchester United.
Again, Mr. B, I think you did say, didn't you, yesterday in the watch along or something about Martial getting a goal, or was it? Yeah. Again, with Martial, I know you love Martial as well. With it, if he can consistently play at this level, and as what Jay said earlier, a second ago, just imagine with him, Rashford, and it's a difficult one because a lot of people also criticizing Jadon Sancho, which I don't think Jadon Sancho have done too much wrong, but it seems like a lot of people got an opinion on it. But with those sort of like front three there, that could be frightening going if Martial can stay fit.
Yeah, we say it. I said me and OMONDI had a little chat. I lost my mind when he scored yesterday for about 5 minutes, to be fair. I love him. I think he's great. So the issue that everybody knows is well documented is his injuries. But when he plays, he makes a big difference. Recourse has been playing, and he drops into the same position that Martial drops into, but he just doesn't have that. He doesn't have that, and that's what Martial has. That's what he adds to our team. I'm not sure what that is, but he adds it to our team. The fact that Ten Hag was saying that he might not be risked, it's a risk to start him against Forest, is the part that I'm worried about. That's my concern. Is it that he's played the 60 minutes, they've taken him off, and he's not where he's supposed to be? In which case, then it looks like Weghorst is going to get another extended run out. But I'm not even sure Martial's going to play 90 minutes before the end of the season, and that doesn't benefit us, especially if we need him to be playing the whole game. Because once he's off, the replacement isn't exactly tearing trees down. He's as big as a tree, but he's not tearing them down with his performances. So we struggle when he's on. Yeah, I know. On Monday I talk about system play, bruv. I'm putting a brave face on it. I'm so glad Martial's back. So to have him dropping off, I am worried. And this is the business end of the season. Whatever happened before, we're going to be judged on this run-in now. The other quarter-final, the semi-final, final if we get there, and then the rest of the Premier League games. If he doesn't play, I would say if he doesn't play 70% of the games that we've got, we don't get top four.
Oh, Monday.
Yeah, Martial, I'm impressed. When he's playing wide a lot of the time, and then I think it was under Ollie Solskjaer when we had Greenwood, Rashford, and him playing. They scored a lot of goals, didn't they? And he was playing centrally, and I said, no, he can't play there. He's not good enough. He can't do the job correctly. But what we're seeing and what I've been impressed with, he turned it around for me. I believe he can play there now, not just from yesterday's performance, but just when he's been played sporadically throughout the season, being injured. He's played really well. You talk about a hold-up play. You get a big man, you expect him to hold up the ball and do good things with it, which Weghorst does do. But Martial, that second goal yesterday, getting the ball, laying it off to the right back, spinning off. Defender has to go with him. He doesn't know. He can drop a shoulder, peel off him, spin off a man. Thing. I love that. And I think to yourself, doesn't matter how big you are, you've got to be able to learn how to shield the ball. And when you've got big defenders coming through you like that, you just got to hold up a man and pop it off. And he's so intelligent like that. And I think he offers a good threat. I don't know if can stay on the last man and get the ball in behind like Rashford. I don't know if he's got that rapid pace anymore. But for what he shows with his back to goal, I'm very impressed. And I just think, yeah, you've developed. To me, that's the development. You're not all that winger guy anymore where you want to turn, get one-on-one, square people up. You can hold at the ball with your back to goal and bring people into play intelligently as well. And sweeter, the word you're looking for is sugar or sweetness, Mr. B, something like that. Compare the two between Weghorst and Martial. Most definitely. Really impressed with him. I was, like Mr. B said, I was a bit concerned when I heard the press conference and the manager saying about, maybe he might not start, that kind of thing. What's going on? I don't know if Jay can sort of enlighten us here. What is the injury here? Because look, at his age, what is going on? Is it muscle injury? Is it a reoccurring dodgy leg or a bone or ankle? I never know what injury is. He just seems to be injured. But I hope they can repair him, because what's going to happen is we're going to say, I'll get rid of him. And he's going to go somewhere and we'll be watching the stats and watching games of him scoring great goals as he comes into his prime. Now, this is a decision we need to make. Do we stick with him coming into his prime years, showing that intelligence now, a lot of wisdom, being able to mature and play the way he played yesterday? Or do we say, let him go, enough's enough with injuries? I don't know. It just all depends on what the injury is and if it can be solved. A bit like Varane, who was at Real Madrid. They solved your injury. They got him playing as much as they could, being able to sort of manage him like that. I think we need to do that medically in the medical department.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer to that question. I'm just looking here of his, the sort of the official lists of his injuries. Well, I say official transfer marks, which is usually quite sort of, accurate. Early on in the season, he had the hamstring injury. You remember the game against Atletico in Norway? I was at that game. I think he would say he did something right near the end of the game. So there's a hamstring that kept him out for a couple of games at the start of the season. Then he had an Achilles issue, which kept him out for 5 games. Then it was a back injury, which kept him out for 3 weeks. Then it was an unknown injury, it says here, for 5 games. And then it was a hip injury for 34 days. So he's had various different injuries. Now, sometimes they're connected, aren't they? If you do your back, it can affect your hip, and it's like one thing leads to another. But it does seem like it's a whole multitude of different things that are going wrong for him. And my worry when you got a player like that, who, like you say, he has that little bit of a burst of pace. He likes to surge. He likes to, sort of movement is so key to the way he plays. He's the opposite of a big lump who just stands there. He's a very quick, sort of kinetic type of player that can get into your head sometimes. Like, you're a bit wary because of all the injuries and the knocks. So that's one thing that worries me. But, I agree. I think everyone's sort of in agreement when he plays well, and if he can stay fit, then there's a player there. So, we do need him, because the one concern, I mean, I've come on here last time I was on here, we all mentioned it. I think I've heard it when I've watched you guys, when I've not been on. I've heard Andy talk about it. I've heard you guys mention it. Is we're too reliant on Marcus Rashford's goals. You can't have, a situation where if Rashford doesn't score, the next goal scorer is like on 6 or 7 or whatever. I know we've had Sabitzer step up and McTominay and Bruno and everyone's chipped in with 1 or 2 now and again, but by and large, it's Rashford doing all the heavy lifting. And you need someone else who can get comfortably into double figures if they're playing all the time, and someone who's, because teams are going to look at it and go, you stop Marcus Rashford, you stop Manchester United. And I think with Martial, you have got that other player. You have got a player where teams will go, right, it's not just Marcus Rashford here, it's Anthony Martial. The pair of him are dangerous. And even Anthony, I know he doesn't score a lot of goals, especially in the Premier League, but he's a danger. So if we can get those 3, Anthony, Martial, and Rashford as your front 3, I think that's dangerous. I think that worries teams. And then you can have the likes of Sabitzer and Bruno pushing forward, and Eriksen to create chances and to get goals as well. It's just that whole thing. And I don't mean to sound boring and repetitive, but it's as plain as the day is long. It's fitness. It's keeping him fit. And as OMONDI said, with Varane this season, well, Real Madrid obviously managed him well. This season, up until recently, we've managed Varane really well. I think Ten Hag's obviously is one of those managers who would rather keep a player off or hold a player back if it means for the long term he's going to be fit. He did it with Jadon Sancho. Whatever reason, he said, right, take a few weeks off. Well, more than a few weeks. Now he seems to have been a little bit cautious with Martial, and I get it, because if we can get Martial fit for the last month of the season or last 2 months of the season, then we've got a fighting chance of doing something else in the trophies and getting top 4 as well.
Well, again, with that, it could come in and it could be a pivotal part for him as well to come in and play this role. Coming back, Rashford's injured. All of a sudden now he goes on some ridiculous scoring record as well and help us to put us in the top 4, get the sort of Europa League. And I think I'm just having a guess to say that the reason why Ten Hag might not play him is because Ten Hag wants him fit and ready for the Sevilla game, the return leg for Sevilla. That's what I probably believe they will do.
I think it's shades of Jose that in 2017, and it put all your eggs in Europa. And I get that, United are still in with a chance of the top 4, and with a good chance of the top 4. We're in the top 4. I understand, like, if we win the Europa and Champions League, but for me, we have to play our strongest available team for the Forest game. I wouldn't be resting players for the Sevilla game personally. I'd be going all out to get that Forest win because, we need a win. We've got the Spurs game coming up. We know what Newcastle are in this rich vein of form where they keep winning. So there's 3 teams going for 2 spaces really, because City and Arsenal have obviously got the top 2. So I just don't think you can take a risk now. I think you have to get a win at Forest, because you go in later on into that Spurs away game. It's a tough game now, and if you lose that, then you're in danger of dropping out of the top 4 for good this season. So if it's me, I'd be playing Anthony Martial for the Forest game. I would. I just think even if you're not 100%, he can play the full game against Sevilla. I just feel we've got to get a result against Forest, man. That's just my thought anyway.
Yeah. And Jay, you just sat there and you got us talking about the top 4, which we are going to come on next. But Amanda, would you mind going through some of the comments? Guys, if you're new to the channel, please give us a like and also a subscribe.
Yeah, here we go. Stuart Marshall saying 50 million down the drain. Tony Martial gets injured again. That rhymes. First, Bath Time saying, thing with Martial is there's never been a physically harder time to be a footballer than the last 3 years. So hopefully a pre-season and a break might get a consistent fitness out of him. Boxer saying here, Martial is delicate. He can only be brought on out to play August to October, then put on the shelf until March when he comes out to play again. Is that like a winter team? It doesn't in the winter season. Bill Badger saying, I like Martial, but he cannot be trusted going forward. We should sign a couple of strikers next season. Martial is the coolest finisher, says Saragon. Play McTominay as a false 9, perhaps, says Box. Bath Time saying here, we need to start bringing out more McTominays like the way Newcastle do with Longstaffs. Jim Mack saying a top 4 finish and a League Cup now seems like a bargain. Saying does MEFC Realist saying it's Martial's law. It's either up or down. We need to get him fit. Box is saying here, didn't we win the Europa League and have half a team in suits with crutches on the sidelines? We can do it again. I remember that. Yeah, Zlatan was out, wasn't he? HD Gamer saying, only thing that will make me happy is to see Rashford in the squad for Sevilla. I always say Seville, but Sevilla, is it? Seville's the town. The team is Sevilla. Box is saying here, I'd gamble and keep Rashford off until Brighton semi-finals. 100% not rush Rashford back, says Jim Mack. And a couple here from Box saying, I think next season Sancho and Anthony will have to deliver in terms of goals and assists. No excuses. I do agree there. Box is saying, again, Palestri gets more chances, always looks a threat, puts opponents on the back foot. Saragon saying, after Bruno, Rashford, Fred, Anthony, Casemiro are the main goal contributors, need more goals from Sancho and others like Garnacho, who has scored a couple. Michael Hill, I wasn't worried about Spurs before last night, but now it looks a lot harder. We're going to have to outscore teams, and I can't see us getting clean sheets, to be honest. Finally, Ed Mayhem saying, some United fans wanting City to win the league, so Arsenal don't. What planet are these people on? Definitely not United fans, in his opinion.
Right. Actually, you know what? Let's go back to that one. Jay, we're Londoners, yeah? And obviously, I know a lot of people probably will have a dig at me, but the way I look at City is our rivalry. Yes, they can do 3 in a row. Yes, I understand that part, yeah? But the issue is, me, I'm on there, Mr. B. It's absolutely we get destroyed all the time by these goon bugs. That's what I'm on there call them, goon bugs. So I'm going to put the guys on the spot. Mr. B, City or Arsenal to win the league? In the comments, guys. Throw in the comments as well. You're muted.
City. I've had a mind change. They're on for the bloody treble. They're on for the treble. That's ours. That's our baby. So I will take Arsenal. I'll take all the grief and know that Man City didn't get the arm.
What if certain people like Mr. King come for you?
I told Mr. King about his blood clot. He don't even want to be talking to me. So I'm not worried about King. I'm really not worried about Christopher King. It's all the rest of them. But you know what? I'll take it. I'll accept it, because in 5 years' time, when they're not winning anything else, and we look in the history books, it's got to have Man City did the treble. So no, I'm having Arsenal for the league now.
Look, let me say this. I'm not tribal when it comes to football. I should appreciate the game. Man City, I appreciate them. They're a great football side. Now, the other thing, I don't see the rivalry. I'm in London. I don't see the rivalry as in with Arsenal, with Liverpool. These are big historic clubs who have history, safe, self-sustainable clubs. Man City has been financed, and they're just a project, in my opinion. So to see them do so well over the last decade, I say fair enough. It would be horrible to see them win 3 in a row or win a treble. That would be disgusting. But I have to give credit, because what the football I'm watching, they beat Bayern Munich the other day, beat them up like properly and outplayed them. The man is taking it on. Pep is such a good coach with what he's got. He's got great resources, mind you, but he's such a good coach, and with the personnel he has, he's switched it, tweaked it again, and now starts not with a formation, but with a system of a back three, how he would, like when you line up with a back four and a whatever 4-2-3-1, whatever. Now he just says, forget this formation. I'm putting you out as a back three, and you, because we keep the ball so much, you always stay in midfield. He's developed it. So Arteta's there, like, right, I tried to sort of replicate what they're doing, but now he's taking it a next step further. Football's so advanced. We're playing catch up. Man City, I don't like to say it, but we have to be honest, they are a giant out here, and they haven't won a European Cup or whatever, but it's coming. It's definitely coming, and I'm very impressed with the way it started to play football. There's always got to be a measuring bar to say things got to get better and things got to improve. And I look at them and say, that's where we need to get to. At least we can see them in our league and say, all right, how do we close the gap? All right. But so I think Man City are going to win the league, to be honest. And whether they win the Champions League and the treble, God forbid. But you have to salute the football that they play.
I'm going to kickstart. I know who Jay going to. I'm going to kickstart. I'm going to say probably the same sort of thing you were saying there on Monday. Providing they don't win the Champions League, they can go on and win the league. Because Arsenal fans, for me, they're unbearable. Literally, my brother in Jamaica support Arsenal, and I get messages. And when we lose, all the memes comes out. Sort of all my friends, I'm in WhatsApp with Arsenal fans, and literally, Man United will win a game or Man United will beat Arsenal. I won't say nothing. I'll keep my mouth quiet. But the minute Man United lose, yesterday, literally, my WhatsApp messages, bottlers. And it was literally, at one point, I wanted Arsenal to win the league, I would say probably about 5-6 weeks ago. But I've changed my mind now, and I'm going with City. Jay, you're going to slap us up for this. You and your son have got it together down the bottom. two of them.
You know, listen, for me, it's not even remotely an issue if Arsenal win the league over City. I'll be like, I'm not bothered. I just can't have City winning the league, man. Seriously, 3 in a row. I think they're on for the treble, and I'm not like OMONDI. I'm not a connoisseur of football. I hate City, and I don't give them any credit. I think they're horrible, and I think they just bought the way to whatever success they've got, and they're just lucky, and they've got the refs in the pocket and financial fair play, and they're going to get all these titles took off them anyway, and they're disgusting. And I'm not even from Manchester City, I'm just from Stockport County fans who just gone down there for day tripping. So why don't they just bore off and get a new hobby? No, it's different for me. I live in the city of Manchester, obviously, and I live in Salford, but I'll see City fans a lot. They'll be bragging about 3 in a row. They'll be bragging about doing the treble, which United are the only English club to do that. Arsenal, it's a few people online. It's a few people tweeting some nonsense. It's a few people saying stuff. It doesn't really bother me. I think City to win the Champions League, which I think they can, and to win the title, and to win the FA Cup, I think it'd be sickening. And They never shut up about 2012 with Aguero's goal. This will be even worse than that. I've had 11 years of that Aguero stuff, and I'll have till I die, I'll have the treble and all this nonsense. So yeah, man, it's horrible. But I think now is the time to keep chanting. Have you ever won the treble? Have you? Before they do it.
Yeah. Well, I would say, Jay, to be honest with you, I only know one City fan, and I think OMONDI is the same, and so is Mr. B.
To be fair, there's only three in the world, so you know a third of the whole fan base.
To be honest with you, they sort of I think with City, like OMONDI said, they're playing great football, and Haaland is just a monster, absolute monster. But I still don't think they're going to win Champions League. I honestly believe Madrid is going to do it again. I think Madrid will go and win the Champions League again.
I hope so, man. I'm sick of relying on Madrid to stop these two. How many times do you have to rely on Madrid to stop the horribleness happening? Last season, I celebrated Vinicius Junior's goal like it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in a new camp. Honestly, my whole family were watching the game, me and my family, missus and my kids, and we all jumped up when he scored. Like United had just won the Champions League. It's horrible, man. It's where we're at the minute. So reliant on Madrid. Madrid have stopped some nonsense like over the last few years. Seriously, I thank God every day that Real Madrid exists.
Yeah, nah, I'm telling you, the one as well for me, my memorable one is with the whole Salah thing when they Salah went down and got hurt. Apparently his arm got hurt or something like that. I was literally jumping up for joy, celebrating it. Yeah, celebrating that.
We went to me and my family went to Disneyland in Paris. So there's me, my missus, my kids. And my mum and dad came as well. And the last night we were in Disneyland Paris, we went to watch the fireworks in front of the Princess Castle. It's a big castle and they have a firework display. And it was the last night there. And my mum and my missus were like, listen, it was the night of the Champions League final, Liverpool playing Real Madrid. And they're like, you two, to me, my dad better not be sulking if Liverpool win and just spoil the night. It's the last night here. We don't want you two grumbling to each other and moaning and just being miserable. So me and my dad were like, right, they've got a point because we would have been. So we both turned our phones off. We said, we'll turn our phones off, right? And we'll just forget about whatever happens in that. And we'll enjoy the night, have a nice night, watch the fireworks, and then turn your phones off later on and find out what's happened. And if Liverpool have won, then you can sulk about it and moan about it then. So anyway, we stood in front of the castle waiting for the fireworks. And near us was a load of Scousers. And they all start celebrating and cheering and high-fiving each other. Like, yes, get in there, mate, yes. And I'm nudging my dad and I'm like, and we're both shaking our heads like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. No, look at this. And then I heard one of them saying, I love Gareth Bale. What a lad. And I'm thinking, hey, they love Gareth Bale. And I said to him, like, one of you Liverpool fans are like, nah, like, whatever Tonians, they're Everton fans, celebrating the fact that Real Madrid were winning. So then we got on our phones like, I had to look. Liverpool lost, like the game ended, Liverpool lost. Obviously, Loris Karius threw that ball to Benzema and Bale scored the winner and all that. And then we found out the final result. Liverpool lost Champions League final. And then the fireworks started. And we just stood there watching the fireworks like, yeah, this is sick. So, yeah, Real Madrid have saved a few nights for me.
Is that the one that the keeper, is it Karius, said he was the best keeper in the whole wide world? He went and done some interview or something like that and said he was like the best keeper in the whole world or something like that.
Don't know about you, but I agreed with him. I think he's the best keeper ever. Hey, he got my vote.
Oh, brilliant. Now, we're just going to touch on, I did say we wanted to talk about Martinez quickly, Jay. Martinez out. Is that top four done for us?
Wow. Wow.
Just asking a question. Just asking a question.
I mean, fair enough. You have to ask, don't you? Listen, if you look at the table now, let me just bring it up. Sorry.
That's all right.
We're fourth. We've got a game in hand on Spurs. I know we've got to go to Spurs, obviously. 3 points above them. If you look at our fixtures, Forest away, Chelsea at home, Spurs away is the big one. We've also got Villa at home. I think
Brighton
we've got
away.
some tricky ones. Brighton away is a very, very difficult
West Ham
game.
away, Wolves at home.
West Ham, yeah. It's. I don't think it's done, and I think you got to remember, like Mr. B said something really, really, really good earlier on, because he's so rare. I made a note of it. I'm going to get it tattooed on my arm. 14th of April at 8:45, Mr. B said something really spot on. But he pointed out the fact that Luke Shaw at left centre back has played well. He played well against City, and you know, there's no bigger test than playing Manchester City and Erling Haaland and coming through it. And he did that. So whilst it does worry me slightly that Malacia on the left-hand side isn't as strong as Luke Shaw at left back, there is that option. And I think that might be something Ten Hag does. Also as well, Eriksen coming back is such a big boost for this team. It's almost like been ignored. The guy's been so important for us and so good. And we've missed him for the last 3 months. And because we won a Carabao Cup and things were going all right, people still forgot about it. But the guy is class. So getting him back into this team, getting Casemiro back from his suspension, that's a big boost. Also, the Martial thing, which we've already covered. So, yes, it is a disappointment that Martinez is. And for me, it's the biggest disappointment about the Sevilla game. We can draw 2-0 with Sevilla and still make it up in the second leg. It's not the end of the world. Losing Martinez for the end of the season, the way that this team likes to play and Erik Ten Hag likes to play is so important to us, is a blow. But with the players we've got coming back and the way he shuffled it around before, I think it's too quick to say top four's done.
Yeah. Mr. B?
I'm not going to answer that. I'll save it. I'll save it for the next half an hour.
Oh, you got another. Yeah, you got another show
I
as well,
can't answer
haven't you?
that question. I'll save it.
He's said something good today. That's it now. He's not.
Say nothing
He's all
else.
done. He's all tapped out. He's not got anything else left to do. Do you know what I
One per
mean?
show.
Come on. He's like Anthony. He's got his goal now. He's got to wait. He's like Weghorst. He's got his goal. Got to wait another 11 games for the next one.
I'm on date with the top four.
Yeah, we're going to get top four. I believe we are. Regardless, when we really weigh it up, we still got a good squad. We played Nottingham Forest this weekend, for example. We played them recently. We've got more quality than them. Even with the injuries we've got, we still got enough quality to win the game. It just comes down to, like Jay was saying, really important factor. We've got Casemiro back. We've got Eriksen back. And don't worry about defence when you've got the ball. When you've got the ball and you keep possession of the ball, we played like Eriksen and Casemiro. We got and Bruno as well, who's dropped in deep. We saw the switch with him and Sabitzer, for example. Bruno's playing a lot deeper. The manager even called it a couple of weeks ago. He actually said that Bruno's playing deeper for a reason. And now Eriksen's back in. We can sort of play more football. Got more technical players there. Sancho, I know he's been disrespected in the comments, but he's someone who can keep the ball and keep possession. So as long as you've got the ball, defense will be okay. It's when we lose the ball and how we lose the ball in certain areas where we might be under pressure, especially with Martinez out and the personnel we have in defense at the moment. So it's going to be touch and go, but it's going to be really exciting. This is what we want to see. We don't want to be cruising to something at the end of the season. Let's make top four like a title challenge or something massive, because it is. It's going to be really tight. We've lost to Newcastle. We can't afford to lose to Spurs. And these other games, you look at them, they are all tricky. Everyone's got something to play for. So it's going to be really exciting. But I do think at the end of the day, we've got the quality to do it. And we've got a good manager as well. Just one more thing. I think the manager, by playing Bruno, he's switching Bruno recently, dropping him deeper. It shows that he's not just a one-trick pony. He knows he has to adapt and to what he's got as players. He started the season thinking, right, I'm going to play this style of football, had to adapt, had to drop Maguire, had to sort of do things his way. So I think the manager's capable of doing that and being a bit more conservative based on the players that he's got available to him. And in defence, we're going to be a bit shaky. So I think he needs to, this thing about bringing the ball out from the back, maybe start pumping it forward, just get it past halfway line and get them a throw or whatever it takes. We need to just make a little slight tweak to the way we play, and I think we'll be all right. Top four will be okay.
Right. So Anthony, where's Anthony Herbert, the Grand National guys tomorrow? Asking me for tips. No, Anthony, you're the expert. But if I was going to do anything tomorrow, it's about the dog. So go back, the dog. That is the one. The big dog. Grand National tomorrow. That's going to win tomorrow. Yeah. Like I know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
that's the one I went with. That the big.
Pardon?
Dog.
Did you?
Big dog. Yeah.
Really?
Mad, ain't it? Now you put me off. Hey, can I cash out on my bet before the race is started? I need to put it on someone else.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's it. What is it?
21 on Beg Horse.
That's a good one as well. But guys, listen, 34 in the chat, guys. If you're new to the channel, please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Jay, it's been absolutely a pleasure as always. Where can the lovely people find you?
Well, you know where to find me on Stretford Paddock. Hopefully, if few of you have come over from there, because I usually do a community post, then make sure you are subscribing to these guys. Honestly, in 55 minutes, it's flown by. I can't believe it's been 55 minutes. it's a proper laugh. And you know, I've had a few sort of people message me and have a go at me and dig me out about Mr. B and the way I talk to him and that, and say like I'm too nice to him and I need to stop being so kind to him because you know I let him off the hook too much.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. So yeah, no guys, literally absolutely amazing. It is, yeah, it's my first show in a long time. I will be off.
Can we just acknowledge it as well? The new, have we got a book of sort of Errolisms or soloisms? Because
I'd like to add, find them.
I'd like to add, throw this one into the woodwork as
woodworks.
Yeah, woodworks. Can I just throw this into the woodworks? And then that wasn't even the worst part of that sentence. The worst part of the sentence was McTominay in defence. But still,
yeah, it's all about the Scott, innit? Scotty. What did we call him? The Terminator or something like that the other day we called him when he scored that goal against Everton.
Terminator.
Terminator. Yeah, exactly, mate. He's coming back. He's coming from the future.
This is it. Like, you know, the lads who did well for a spell under Ole and who sort of tailed off under Ragnick. Now is the time for them to shine. You know, you talk about McTominay, you talk about Lindelof, you talk about Maguire, you talk about Andy Martial. This is what playing for Manchester United is about. You don't just play one season and have one season off.
Yeah.
You've got to prove yourself, man. So hopefully these boys can step up, and I guarantee I know you lads are with me on this. I'll be back on here chatting about it and getting behind them because, you know, it's a big 2 months for Manchester United and hopefully we can end it with Champions League football next season and even more silverware, and then we can look back and go, you know what, this is actually a very good season.
Yep, I'll take it. I'll take top 4 with the cup we won already, so I'm happy with it. So yeah, not going to be greedy. But guys, 29 in the chat. I've been solo. OMONDI, Jay, Mr. B, guys, thanks to every single person who's taken part. Drop the comments in. Make sure you go over, like, share, and subscribe as well. What is it?
Press 1 PSP for those solo.
Yeah, that's it.
What's the show that Mr. B's doing now? Sorry,
he's doing the Friday night takeaway.
Wait, he said, "I'm not going to tell you. You've got to come and see me on my other channel."
Yeah, it's just a Prem roundup. Well, that's the title of the show. So yeah, I can't talk about it.
He's doing about Martinez. He's talking about Martinez on that show.
Okay, I like that, man. I like the fact he's like, I'm not telling you. You got to come and watch me on the channel, me on the show.
Yeah, he's not spilling the bean. He's not spilling it. But
I respect that.
There's 28 in the chat. Mr. B will be giving all away. Thank you very much for that.
Big up, Jim Mac.
Big up. Thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, 29 of you in the chat. Mr. B is going to be back at 10 o'clock. So make sure you go and check it out. Yeah. He's going to be with, I believe, Liverpool fan today, Spurs fan, or Spursy.
Liverpool fan. Yeah, Liverpool Spursy.
We've
got a Google on there fan as well.
Yeah, we got this guy on as well.
You're gonna, Mr. B, I hope you're gonna give him some grief about the Monday night meltdown over Bellingham. Yeah, did you see what happened on Bellingham? That was hilarious, man. Where Fjortoff tweeted, didn't he? Bellingham to Liverpool. It's on. Liverpool have put a bid in. And like I've seen all these Liverpool fans tweeting pictures of Bellingham in a Liverpool kit and all this nonsense. Right? Literally 10 minutes later, the story broke that Liverpool pulled out the race for Bellingham. So there was all these like Liverpool fans fuming. And then 10 minutes after that, it was like United are in for Bellingham. I just thought,
bro, they're hot. Crush him. Yeah. Crush him.
They've had a horrible half an hour. Mate, if I ever see Janaga Fjortoff, I'm going to buy that man a drink. It was superb for him.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Caspar, the man from, him and
the best referee in the Harrow Challenge Sunday League.
Yeah, big up Caspar. Yeah. But guys, no, seriously, on a serious note, thank you all for liking, sharing, subscribing. And Jay, we'll see you very soon as well. So
yeah, guys, man, always a pleasure to come on here. I know you have Andy Tate on as well, good friend of mine. He loves coming on here, so I'll be on again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and Jay, I will give you a call probably tomorrow to sort out the thing with Andy. Yeah.
Right, okay,
You see-
brother. Yeah.
Check your message. Check your message. And remember it.
Let's have this discussion. Let's have this discussion on camera. Why not?
No. You know, yeah, just check your message. Check your message. We're not going to have a discussion. We'll just check your message.
Lord of mercy.
Check your message.
Yeah, all right, brother. Yeah, we'll
your
do.
message,
And I'll
check your
chat to you then.
message, check your message.
Top man.
All right, guys. Thank you for watch, share, and subscribe. Good night.
Bye bye.